Rodolphe Named Podcast, starring the underrated Josh Davidson, the underappreciated Caspar Hyde, and the underwhelming Max Riley. Our New World Order paymasters have instructed us not to disclose that John F. Kennedy orchestrated 9/11 from a Nazi moon base and that Diana was murdered by the Queen's toilet attendant.
Good day to you. Here at Rodolphe's Revenge, as you've probably worked out, we are a major nerd bunch. And today we're taking that to the extreme by talking about what characters we think should be in the next Smash Bros, which will be on the Wii U.
Because our favourite game. At the moment, this is our favourite game to play. We've been playing it weeks now, weeks solid.
It's one of those games that you can play over and over again and it's never quite the same.
It's very popular with the internet as well, this game, and what we notice a lot of going on is people who are idiots, frankly, all listing on YouTube not their favourite characters, but the characters that they think should be in the next Smash Bros game, Super Smash Bros War or whatever, which means that they always list. There's always Shadow the Hedgehog. He's always on there, given that he's a crap character. What are they going to do? Give him a gun. But anyway, given that we
no Sonic characters.
No more Sonic characters.
Please.
Get rid of Sonic.
Get rid of Sonic, in fact. But given that we know a bit about the game and a bit about how games are made and how games work, we think that the next game should build and add to the series as a whole. Adding a new character does not equate to adding to the game. The game has to be built. The character has to be built around the game, not the other way around. Mm-hmm. You see what we mean?
Yep.
And as I say, given that we know a little bit about the games industry, we reckon that we are probably a bit more qualified, not totally qualified, but a bit more qualified to talk about it than some of the people who are just bandying around their uninformed opinions, which is based just on what they want and not on what anyone else might enjoy.
Exactly. I think as well, they need to, before we start talking about characters in general, they need to really revisit the sort of adventure mode, because they did it quite well in Melee, the adventure in that, but they could have been built on. And then they went ahead with the Subspace of Misery, and you sort of had a story, but it was really crap, like the playthrough. The only good thing about it was multiplayer, but it just got to the point where, me and Cass were playing it, and just towards the end with that giant maze thing, you couldn't be bothered with it anymore. It just seemed entirely... it goes on for so long.
It's too much.
It feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. No, 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
That's more like it, if not more. But, a decent gaming model that had a better adventure would play on the sort of characters' own environments and sort of reflect on those characters. The problem with certain things like Metroid, for instance, is that in Smash Bros. It's only Samus, so there's no character depth, and then there's no, in the Subspace of Mystery you fight Ridley twice because they can't think to do anything else. And it seems really pointless. And it's a great franchise, apart from Other M. We won't get started on that. It's a great franchise, but it's one of Nintendo's biggest ones. I think they ignore this because they handed Metroid Prime over to an American studio. I think they've got some sort of pet hate towards it now.
But anyway, we're probably going to come on to that a bit more later in the podcast. Right now, we'll start out by talking about which characters. We've each chosen one character that we think should be in the next Smash Brothers game. Josh, you want to go?
Well, considering I was talking about...
Go ahead.
Considering I was talking about Metroid, I really want to see Dark Samus in the game. There is a sort of pet hate towards some of the dark versions of lead characters, but I think the interesting thing about Dark Samus is that it's more a force. Dark Samus is more sort of a name for it, rather than probably the wrong name, to be honest. But it's more the Phazon creation, if you like. And I think what's really interesting is the sort of the weaponry is really different, and the sort of it's not like armor plated. It's more like really fast and whatnot. And I think it could be really interesting in terms of things like Final Smashes, which is something that we all either think they either get really good or really, really wrong in Smash Bros. But yeah, I think it would be really interesting to see how, in terms of the game, Dark Samus' relationship with normal Samus, because in when they counter each other, they sort of encounter each other. They sort of Samus gets corrupted and shit goes down, and it'd be really interesting to see how like the weaponry would change and whatnot. But yeah, in terms of things like final smashes.
What about in terms of normal attacks first?
Oh yeah. Well, the phase-on attacks, like her phase-on beam. The thing with Samus in the game, she has a charge beam, and it's really ineffective as just a sort of, if you press B and fire it away, you have to properly charge it to get any effect.
It's a bit of a clumsy character.
Yeah, she is.
You sat there just for ages and ages. It might as well be me in the suit, stumbling around as she does, and the amount of time Bean takes to charge up, she just sat there for ages. Samus could have been so much more done with Samus for those entire 3 games. I mean, the addition of Zero Suit Samus in Brawl was a brilliant move, but more needs to be done with that.
Yeah, I think it's such a shame because Samus is an awesome character and one of the best of Nintendo's.
In certainly possibly, definitely the strongest female character in gaming.
Yeah, ever. And it's such a shame that she's such a boring character in that game because, I mean, when I first started to play Super Smash Bros., I always chose her because I think she was such a cool character. Then I stopped using her because she just sucked, I think.
Her moves aren't very fluid. She's really clunky. It's like missile, and she doesn't have any sort of power. But the thing with Dark Samus is not so focused so much on the weaponry. I mean, it'll have the phase-on blasters and whatnot, but it won't be really like the morph ball bombs, for instance. She won't have anything like that. They'll be like really crap. And she'll be more of an up-close fighting sort of character, but that has the ranged attack. She'll just be more powerful, if anything, and more fluid than Samus.
I guess she can't lose her suit either.
No, she can't lose her suit because there has been an instance where it does kind of lose its suit, and it's really weird. But
it wouldn't apply itself.
No, it wouldn't. Not at all. No.
So necessary.
No, but it'd be. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what the hyper would be. I've said this before to the guys, but I think if normal Samus, was to be playing at the same time, and the final smash could be something to do with Dark Samus taking control of Samus's suit and using things like phase-on missiles and phase power bombs and phase-on like blasters and things. It can, all the kills can be accumulated through Samus. I think that'd be pretty cool. I mean, obviously,
really work though.
Wouldn't always work.
Failing that, you can just get her summoning the other bounty hunters that she corrupted with.
Yeah,
phase-on.
there is that.
Works better,
it'd probably work better. I mean, it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
But it probably wouldn't. It would be too much of an anomaly.
Yeah.
It would mess a bit much with the gameplay.
It'd be interesting in terms of an adventure mode to see that. But that's the thing. But that's with Final Smashes. Samus is actually at the moment it's probably one of my favourites because it's quite different each time. It's you've got the Zero Blaster and then she puts the suit back on the second. It's awesome, absolutely awesome. That's kind of surprised me because that's come out of nowhere. I've never seen
they
use
could
that
have
before.
had the final in Super Metroid. The super beam she gets there.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been pretty awesome.
Yeah, some of the final smashes they just made out of.
But just an upgrade, for a short amount of time. The thing like with what's his face, Sonic, is that he gets those gay thingies and goes yellow and whizzes around the sky. Yeah, Samus could have had things like upgraded weaponry, things like plasma beams and like power bombs and things like that for a short amount of time. That would have been so much better,
But let's not jump the gun on this. We should be talking a bit more about the characters. We'll come on to this later.
Yeah.
So that seems like a good point to segue on to Kat.
To my choice, I'm not 100% sure. I'm a bit. I do think that there should be more characters from the F-Zero universe. The problem with it is that not many people know about the characters from F-Zero. But since it's a racing game, the way it is, it has so many characters. And especially the main bad guy from the series, Black Shadow, seems like he could be a pretty cool character.
Yeah.
Although he might be a bit similar to Ganondorf.
Well, he's a classic bad guy, doesn't have to say.
He just looks like a bad guy.
Yeah, and I don't know, they should just have more characters from the game. If not, there's also more characters from Fire Emblem. Either possibly Lindis, Hector, or Elwyn. Elwyn would probably be a bit too similar to Mars. Yeah, Lindis would be a pretty good character.
Lindis would be really good.
Yeah.
Really good introduction. You can imagine the speed. I certainly imagine her as moving similarly to Zero Suit Samus.
Yeah, or almost like Virgil in the Super.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
A bit like him.
Yeah, she does seem to walk, doesn't she? But yeah, you're right. With again, back to F-Zero, it's the same thing with Metroid. It's just there's only one character from it, and there's no character building from that. I think one of the assumptions with it is that the move cloning, because obviously Ganondorf and Captain Falcon have like the same movesets basically, and it's kind of assumed that any other characters that like Captain Falcon will do the same thing, and they'll just try and get it in the middle or something. But I don't understand. The game is so varied. Why can't they just have another moveset?
Yeah, I think it's a bit part of probably time issue or something. Yeah. That's at least what I think about why Ganondorf and Captain Falcon has the same moves.
Well,
it's a theory I have, because they.
Yeah.
Why would they?
Seems like an afterthought.
Why would they have the same movesets? And I think it's because with Ganondorf in Melee, he had the same body shape as Captain Falcon.
Yeah,
so they could simply change the graphics to look like Ganondorf.
But it's not just them two that have the same movesets. There are others that prove
of course,
similar.
but it's especially with this because they're from the same game series.
Clone Captain Falcon's moves for clone Captain Falcon's moves for Ganondorf.
Yeah. I think some characters probably could do with being, shifted around a bit as well. Yeah, because they're basically with the Fox series. There's three of the same characters with three of the same final smashes.
We are so bored of seeing that fucking tank.
I know. Why does Falco not have a fucking squadron of planes come in, or why does he not fly one round? Why is that so difficult?
It would be so easy to make a really cool final smash for them. That would be different. Having like the screens coming up with Peppy and Slippy.
At what point does Wolf use a tank? I can't ever think of Wolf using a tank in a series at all.
It's from the one game
Star Fox.
No, not Adventures. I think it's Wrecking for something like.
Yeah.
Whatever, Rogue Squadron or something.
Rogue.
No, that was Star Wars.
Yeah,
anyway, something along those lines. It was one game where they had tanks.
Assault, isn't it?
Assault, that's probably.
Yeah, but I don't remember Wolf having a tank.
I'm sure we'll get dozens of people telling us which game the tanks were in.
But
thank you to all of you. Fuck off.
Finally, my last contender that would be good would probably be. It was actually Max's idea, but Pokemon Trainer, and have a new one from the second generation, and then move a bit around. So instead of Charizard, you have Feraligatr, and you have possibly Cyndaquil.
Quilava, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Quilava. And
I reckon Cyndaquil and then Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey, actually, I agree.
Yeah.
No, because that would
it would be the second evolution of the grass.
Yeah.
Is that not Bailey?
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see. Yeah. Oh, right, good point. Yeah.
So, I mean, he would probably just be a clone though of Pokemon Trainer, but still, it would be quite cool.
It would be cool to see that.
Like that sense. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like it to sort of carry on through all the generations.
Yeah.
Really. One for each generation.
Yeah, exactly. That would be really cool.
Because I'd love to play as Blaziken. Blaziken would be awesome.
A lot of characters, though.
It would.
But yeah.
It'd be cool though if they just had the same moves and you just had it as different.
Just replace each
Pokemon. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Just replace the Pokemon.
Yeah. I think you need to get rid of Jigglypuff as well.
And segueing me neatly onto my point.
Yes.
The character that I would most like to see, and this is a bit out of the left field, but stick with me. Cider. That big green bug Pokemon with swords for arms.
You can't miss it.
You can't miss it. Now, it sounds like a bit of an odd choice, but one, he's an absolute fan favourite, and two, his whole fighting style perfectly suits the game style of Smash Bros. Brawl. Well, just all the Smash Bros. Games. So, basically, for his, his B, his normal heavy B attack, you could charge it up, that could be cut. You forward and B, similar to Marth, you can do sword stance, similar to Marth's blade dance that he does, where there's different combinations you can make. Obviously, you'd be able to fly. You'd be a very fast character, even though there are numerous webcomics.
Actually, it's not obvious because he can't fly in the games.
Yeah.
No, or
No,
maybe
he
in the
can't,
later
no.
generations.
Maybe he
but
can-
not in the first generation.
But
Okay,
he has
maybe he can
wings.
fly.
He can fly himself. I think
Yeah,
that
you
the,
do like a curvy
Or-
thing.
or
I
jump.
think what it means in the HMs, you can't teach it to fly. Is it can fly, but it can't support your weight, sort of thing.
But a little pitch.
But Pidgey can, yeah.
Anyway, that was just a bit off topic.
And Cyber's final smash, I've thought long and hard about this. Extreme speed, where he maybe gets a slight power boost to his moves, but everybody else slows down for like 20 seconds or so. So it gives the impression that Cyber is moving so quickly that everybody else seems to be moving in like bullet time almost. I know there's already items that do that, but if it gave him a power boost as well and was guaranteed to only work for Cyber,
Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool thing to see. I would love to see Cyber take on a bit more active role. He's one of my favourite pieces of character design.
Yeah.
And it's not just me, as I say, he's a fan favourite. People love Cyber.
Definitely.
And I would love to see, even the guy we live with who has got no idea about anything to do with Nintendo, recognises and loves Cyber.
Yeah.
But
I think that's a shame too, how they've, because the Pokemon franchise has so many
Yeah.
possible contenders, and they have Jigglypuff.
I know, yeah.
Jigglypuff!
And why Lucario as
And
well?
Because
Yeah.
it's a fan favourite.
Lucario is a fan
Yeah,
favourite.
it is.
More so than Mewtwo?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I
Mewtwo
don't
is
know,
so much
possibly.
better.
There's a lot of, he's
Mewtwo's
a
cool.
furry favourite.
Yeah.
There's,
Mewtwo had really cool moves. It had like the stun thing and
yeah.
all that.
Didn't he have quite similar moves to Lucario?
No.
Or am I wrong here?
They're quite different.
Alright.
Yeah, they are.
Apart from the side blast.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
movements.
Mm.
It's kind
Yeah, the
of,
whole They just
yeah, Mewtwo was way cooler than Lucario.
It seems a bit of an odd move just to replace him like that because it doesn't really serve any purpose.
No.
I wish they had replace Lucario with some
Yeah.
new one.
But they're gonna do that. No,
Either. Or
probably one of the
possibly
small.
Zoroark.
Zoroark, yeah, that'd be cool to
That would
see.
make sense too, actually, because he seems to be a major Pokemon character from the newest generation, as he was the first one introduced.
But just get rid of Jigglypuff because nobody
Yeah,
I've met who
fuck's
plays the game likes playing as Jigglypuff. I don't know the designer of that particular character had a gun to the producer's head
Yeah.
or something. But
And if there's any fans that disagree with us,
We're gonna kill you.
really,
then really, Jigglypuff, you need to take a long, hard look at your lives.
yeah,
Maybe even more so than us.
I mean, what? Jigglypuff's not a fighting character in the game. Jigglypuff's a pet.
She's a good Pokemon.
it's
but
just too similar to Kirby. I
Mm.
think.
yeah,
Yeah, way too.
Yeah,
They're really easy to get confused.
I
Actually.
mean they have different moves, but just
in terms of
the fact that they look so similar makes it also a bit weird.
amorphous pink blobs.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And one other point, we need to get rid of Sonic.
Oh god!
Well, we said this.
Now
earlier,
I'll
but-
show you.
We understand that there's supposed to be this long rivalry between Sega and Nintendo, but honestly, and now it's been brought to a resolution by the fact that Sonic is in the Super Smash Brothers
Yeah, he's
games.
been in all sorts. He's been in like Mario and Sonic go to the Olympics and all that sort of shit.
Those games are
No, not games.
Those games
irrelevant.
Those games don't count.
It's just I hate the fact that they're just trying so hard to blue streak as he passes by.
But
Blue streak as
anyway.
he crunches dice.
Anyway, the thing is, what other characters? People are gonna comment and say what characters they'd like to
Just
see.
on this topic of Sonic, just one thing.
Yeah.
I do get it though if they can't remove Sonic, but please, just please,
Yeah.
do not add any other Sonic characters.
We don't want to see
Like,
Tails. We don't want to
Do
see
not
Shadow.
want to see Tails. Oh my god.
We don't want to see Blaze the cat.
Or
Definitely not Silver
yeah, or Shadow.
or Shadow.
Not.
Yeah.
I'd
Like
like to
the
see Shadow even less. Than
Worst character design in the history of
Yeah.
character
You could
design.
just about, if it was a choice between this and not bringing out of the Smash Brothers game, you could just about get away with putting Dr. Robotnik in there.
Yeah.
But even that's a stretch.
What about Knuckles?
Actually, he's like the only cool character of the Sonic series.
Yeah.
The Robotnik.
Yeah. Knuckles you could possibly get away with.
Knuckles would be more powerful and less douchey.
Now I'll show you.
Oh yeah, he's so overpowered in his final smash.
What's the point of that? He's supposed to be fast, not strong, and then he just comes in with some sort of fucking. Oh,
Yeah.
it just taps you and you fly off the screen.
Yeah.
Even if you're at 0 damage, it's ridiculous.
But anyway, rant mode disengage.
Yeah.
What else do you think needs to be added to the game as a whole? We're not talking characters here, just to the game.
Yeah, also, this one we forgot to talk about, that I think you said has been announced for the next Super Smash Bros.
Girahim.
Yeah, Girahim.
Girahim is a great addition.
Yeah.
He would work perfectly
Definitely.
with the game.
Definitely.
With his like metallic arms and his sword, yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
And
so
if
great.
they should get his final Smash right in a really easy manner, but they just need to not ignore the fact. I don't think you've played that bit yet.
No.
But as we've been talking about certain other characters with certain features to use for a limited amount of time, they should go on with that. I'm trying not to ruin anything for you. They should go on with that. If they pull out some other bollocks, like he has, like, I don't know, shoots those crappy daggers across the screen.
Yeah, but those daggers would be a perfect regular beam.
Yeah, it'd be a perfect
The
range.
longer you
Yeah,
hold
that's
B, the
what I
more
mean.
daggers come out.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Samus's Zero Laser is technically like a supercharged
I'm
sort
not
of.
100% sure that Girahim is going to be in the next one, but there's
He
quite
should.
a few fairly substantiated rumours. I hesitate to call them rumours.
Yeah.
Probably more likely to be fact. But I think it's been more or less confirmed that Girahim is going to be in it, and possibly King K. Rool from the Donkey Kong.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. He would be
really
They should
cool.
have. They should actually have more Donkey Kong characters because that's, or what used to be at least, a big franchise in Nintendo.
They need to change Donkey Kong's Final Smash as well.
Yeah, oh my god.
I hate those fucking Conga.
Make it
fucking
the Rhino
things.
instead.
Do you know what's one thing that always gets me about the about the franchise of Smash Bros is that they always bring out the game really early into the console's life. Like at the very beginning, they did it with GameCube, they did it with the Wii, and they're going to do it again.
With the Wii U, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't really understand why not build up a character base from the Wii U and then release it. I mean, it's a bit late now because we'll be waiting like 10 years before they release any decent games. But, you know, it's kind of like, what's the point in that?
I do wish though the character roster would be massive for this one.
Yeah,
Dixie
great.
Kong, I would also like to see. Well, I probably would use her. Just to still.
Perfect recovery move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just to add some new female characters.
Yeah.
Not too many, actually. Well, maybe there are.
Yeah, but Peach doesn't count. Zelda and Samus count as strong female
Yeah,
characters. So does Dixie Kong.
Zelda's awesome.
Yeah, one character I would like to see also, even though I'm not a big fan of clone characters, but I would love to see a Wind Waker Zelda. Instead
Yeah,
of turning into Sheik, she turns into Tetra.
yeah. That would be
That
cool.
would be really
work.
See, that's not exactly a clone. That's the thing. I mean,
A
what
Light Arrow Final Smash would actually make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
You
like
could
that.
have the same moves.
Yeah, but I just kind of think to myself, with things like Link and Toon Link, it's just okay. They made
This is the thing. Listen now, Nintendo, because if anybody happens to ever listen who represents or is connected to Nintendo in any way, listen to this now because we're fans and we're telling you this, and this is the kind of thing that you need to pay more attention to.
But yeah, going back to it, with Link and Toon Link, it's like, okay, I get that Toon Link's moveset is slightly cartoonised, like with the bombs, for instance. That's a relatively nice thing. But, okay, they've gone to the effort to change that, but then why is his Final Smash the same thing?
Yeah,
What's the point of that?
Make him summon a tornado.
Yeah,
How
Wind
easy
Waker.
would that be to make?
something so
It's so
much
cool.
more efficient.
Or
Yeah,
something with the Wind Waker.
like, there's so much that he has that he could use.
Like his Triforce series of slashes that use these that are his Final Smash, and in his present incarceration. Yeah, it looks cool.
But that's got nothing to do with anything.
It's
is
not
it?
really representative of the series. Okay, with the realistic, inverted commas, Link. Okay, it kind of reveals his power and just how good he is at what he does. But with Toon Link, I don't know. It just feels
There's
kind
my
of
point.
forced.
Yeah.
Well, particularly when there's so much you could do that would be so much better.
I'd really like to see, and it's not going to happen anymore because they've obviously moved the series, but I'd really like to see Wolf Link as like, like Zelda can change, Link could change to Wolf Link, and that would be, Link's a really good character. And I think the reason they're scared to change it sometimes is because the strong characters, like the important ones, the fans will go into some sort of overdrive and kill everybody or something, which is just pathetic, really.
You wouldn't have to change it though, could
Well,
have
no,
Link, as in, and he probably would be the Skyward Sword Link.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have Wolf Link as a different character.
Yeah.
And that would work
character.
Definitely.
just alright. You know, just a different character.
Yeah, and the control, it wouldn't necessarily be too much of a departure to have a wolf or a dog playing as
Well, they had
as
it
one of the characters. They had
Amaterasu in
Amaterasu,
Marvel
just-
vs.
Yeah,
Capcom.
that works
Yeah,
just fine.
Well, obviously Capcom had Amaterasu, so...
and he was awesome in it.
Yeah,
he
he's
is
really
awesome
good.
in it.
Yeah.
But they seem to just skimp out. The thing is, it's a game that has so much programming in it. It's got so many things that can happen.
It's like, can you really not stand to put in a little bit more programming, just a tiny bit more that doesn't involve copy-pasting the code
Exactly,
from one
yeah.
line, from one character to another?
But they need to get rid of the falling as well. Fat tripping, that's what they call it.
What?
It's called fat tripping. Well, Dane calls it fat tripping. It's when they fall over by accident.
Yeah.
I like that.
You like
It
that?
adds a bit of randomness, a bit of
Pieces
chance
they
to
are.
it. It adds,
Yeah.
because the whole game is about... It doesn't really matter whether you're better than somebody else.
No,
or not,
no,
actually,
you're
because
right.
there's so much in
I
there.
really
Chance.
It's annoying.
I hate the competitive element of
Oh yeah.
Super Smash Bros. I mean, the tournaments really no items.
Crappy
I'm
stages,
sorry, you
all that
can't,
sort of
you
shit.
can't call yourself, no matter how good you are at Super Smash Bros. You can't call yourself an expert at Super Smash Bros. If you don't
can't call
play
yourself
the
a gamer.
items.
No,
You're not playing
exactly.
Yeah, it's a whole point.
You'd be
Go
more
play
of an
Tekken. Go
yeah.
play Tekken.
You'd
if
be
that's
more
how
of
you
an
play
expert if you could use all the items that appear
To your advantage.
the correct way.
games.
Yeah,
exactly.
you know, and it's just okay. I get it that things happen to fall at people's feet sometimes, but you know, it's just it is
That's how the
completely
game
random.
works, you know, and that's part of the fun. You have to survive in this random environment full of dangerous shit.
And there are people that are going to say we're getting too worked up about this, but I don't think we are. I mean, I'm a defender of video games as art lobby. I think there's higher, better forms of art. But I think that this is worth defending. It's something that so many people care about, and obviously it's a multi-million dollar industry.
It's one of those few games as well that you can play so many times.
Yeah.
You know, you get so bored with some games. You've played them once and you don't want to do it anymore. And then there's
Battlefield.
yeah. God. Speaking of Battlefield, they're thinking of bringing it in, so you have to pay now to play online.
Just
Like
destroy
£30 a month. Yeah, it will be destroyed.
Just destroying their chances of ever making any more money.
And then Call of Duty is going to completely take over the market, and it's going to be shit. And that's the thing. It's just
And there's Black Ops 2 coming out. Okay, we enjoyed Black Ops, apart from the multiplayer mode, which would be disastrous.
and the story was dog shit.
No, the story, but I seem to recall I liked the story on Black Ops.
Just
but,
think it was too it was just trying too hard to be vague.
but now you've got Black Ops 2 in the future, which seems to be to me to be showbiz shorthand for we are running out of ideas.
Yeah.
Set it in the future or the past. Do a prequel. It's just bland. It's just boring.
And they spend the beginning and the advertising for it at the moment going back to the previous Black Ops to recap on it, you know? I mean, that's the worst way to I get there's supposed to be a connection, but don't rely on your previous success. You know, it's like when
People are smarter than the gaming industry gives them credit for,
Mm.
and the film industry, and for that matter, the comic book industry.
Yeah.
All artistic and creative storytelling industries don't give people enough credit for the most part,
Exactly.
It's a shame.
which is a terrible shame. It is. It really is. People are not
comic
idiots.
book artists can barely survive.
I just really don't understand why they don't ask people's general opinion first. I mean, they're kind of scared that they get like 1,000 responses on the internet from people saying, "Oh no, don't do that." But why is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
You know, don't invest so much time and money on a particular thing that's going to fail because you refuse to listen to people.
And the thing is, okay, do that to a certain extent. Listen to the fans, but by all possible means, listen to the fans as much as you can. But if you've got a really daring, creative new idea, no matter how much naysaying you're getting about it, just go with it.
Mm.
Go for it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like Shadow of the Colossus. That was an amazing game.
Oh my god.
And that was
so
completely different.
Yeah.
We'll not get into our Shadow of the Colossus love mode, but
That's a character that should be added, by the way,
That's
in the Super Smash. No, the
In the
Super
Battle
Smash.
Battle
Royale.
Royale, All-Star
Super
Battle
Smash
Royale,
Bros.
yeah.
Which
Which
looks pretty
does
cool.
look interesting.
Yeah.
really cool.
And I do like what they're doing with that.
That's one thing I'm annoyed about, how people are like, oh, it's just a clone.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not a clone.
It's not a clone. It's similar, but that's like saying Tekken is a clone of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
that's how games work.
Yeah.
You have similar games
I think people
that
were
often
scared.
improve.
I think people were scared that Sony are going to do it better. I honestly think because Sony actually just they've been spending 2 years on this before it was even announced. You know, they'll announce like they're doing a film. Like, I mean, I'm not dissing the Avengers here, but they've announced they're doing the Avengers 2 before it even come out. You know, why not see how successful a thing is and then build on responses from that? As
And if you're going
opposed
to do another Avengers film, as we'll find out in probably the next podcast, ask us about what to do in the next Avengers film. More on that later.
Yeah.
We've got a good one coming up.
But it just what was I saying again?
All the stars.
Sony.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're making it more immersed. Like the whole backgrounds are interactive, and the characters have like 3 levels of supers and things like that. You know, and it just seems like there's a lot more going for it at the moment.
But the thing is, okay, as we've said already, that our opinions probably represented a wider majority. Okay, the podcasts here, we try and be a bit original, we try and say something new, but we also try and say something about things that matter. Okay, the gaming industry isn't hugely important, but
well, it is and it isn't.
But it is to certain
talking
people.
about what we
It's
care
just
about.
us talking about what we care about, and obviously we put a lot more effort into the comics. But the thing is, this is just us talking about what is important to us, and what we think is important to the majority of people in our age groups, and older and younger.
Yeah.
We should probably go back to Smash Bros.
Yeah, no. I was
Bit off topic there, but if there was something you wanted to say.
I was only going to talk about the Vita because it might be one of these few instances where I can actually say something about it. But I went to the gadget show recently, and I picked up the Vita to have a look at it, and it's nicely designed, and the screen's nice, and the graphics are good, but the user interface is dog shit.
Is this the
The Vita, PS Vita, yeah. They just they've tried too hard to make it like a phone or something, like the sort of bubble application menu. And for some reason, they load loads of like mini apps at the same time that are sort of booted with the games. It's really hard to explain if you don't pick it up and play it. But I think there's some.
Out by now, actually, by the time people listen to this.
Yeah, well, it is out. It's out for a while, yeah.
Speaking of the, what was it you were at? What was it called? You were at?
The gadget show. Sorry.
Gadget show. There's a promotional video for it which features a brief cameo appearance by the lovely Josh Davidson.
Yeah.
Google it if you like.
By Kick. Yeah, I'm not telling you to Google it. Kick energy drink. Check it out. Anyway,
And the green shirt.
Yeah, but my point is that they could have done a lot by asking. You know, the interface is clunky, unusable, and weird for the sake of being different. I don't understand why they just couldn't keep it consistent with the PlayStation interface.
Again, going back to what I said earlier, okay, it didn't work, but at least they're trying something different.
Yeah, they are.
Nintendo's been going with the same formula for
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much as we love them. They've been going for the same formula with the same formula.
There's no reason it could be different but consistent. You know, it could be that the platform it's on could apply the XMB style, but with more usability for the touchscreen. But instead, they've made it so it's pure touchscreen crap. You know.
Yeah.
Continue.
And I was just going to say the game roster that they brought out when it first came out wasn't very good, and even Nintendo said that they felt bad it wasn't doing very well. And you just need to consider these things. Why February? Why was there such a random launch time? Nobody buys
just after Christmas.
Nobody buys anything in February.
It's true.
Anything. Underwear included.
Yeah, aside from probably when it changed stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
passing over Josh's underwear.
What you said about Nintendo though, how they haven't done anything new for years. You say that, and then you dislike their new Wii U concept. I'm sorry.
I don't dislike.
And if you look at all of the, well, you said.
Oh, I've said
possibly
it.
you said.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're trying something new, and Nintendo has of all the games for the game
I'll tell you what. Let's reword what you just said. They're not trying something new. They're doing what they did with the motion control. They're trying to introduce the fact that they've tried a new technology to begin with, and they're making it good. They are, but because they're innovative doesn't mean they're doing it well. The fucking Wii Motion Plus is shit.
But to be honest, what they should be doing is kind of, because what Sony did and what with the Vita, and what I think possibly you could argue Nintendo is doing wrong, and they're sticking with the same identical game formulas, but bringing out new and innovative consoles. It should be the other way around.
Yeah,
very, very true.
Whereas with Sony, have been stuck with the same console, the same platform for like 15, 16 years.
No, PS3's been. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, the PlayStation.
15, 16 years now, but they've been experimenting and coming out with new stuff with the games, which is the right way to do it.
Exactly.
There is a place for tradition and for going with what works, but there's also a place for innovation and creativity, and they should run parallel to one another.
Exactly.
They should complement one another.
The good thing about Sony is it's just that they know technology, they know how to do it well, and the thing everybody's saying that the PlayStation Move is just a rip-off of the Wii. I mean, okay, whatever, they've tried it, but they've done it better, like much, much better. And I think people just sort of look at it and be like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm not going to get that because it's just a rip-off, blah, blah, blah. But nobody sort of steps back and think, well, okay, like a lot of things that happen in modern day, if someone makes, like let's go take the Mac and PC argument, if someone takes something and makes it better, what's the point of the loyalty? You know, why don't you just use the thing that's actually working
People
as
get
opposed
too
to the
tied
thing
in
that's...
their loyalty.
Yeah. It's just, the whole thing with the Wii U that's coming out now, it just seems like it's just taking tablet technology because it's the new thing. Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, well,
I don't think...
give it a chance.
I would like to give it a chance, but like with the motion control, I just don't think they're going to use it well. I think they're just doing it for the sake of doing it because it's new.
I think we should give them
shown some good examples already. How you play.
Yeah, but they did that with the Wii, didn't they? You know, when it first came out, it was like, oh, this is good. But then it's kind of like, you know, this isn't working. Like Skyward Sword, you have to reset the controller about 1,000 times before you could lay a hit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the enemies there put up their guard in a specific way, and you're like, oh, I'm going to hit him there. And you do that with the Wii mode, and Link just does something completely different.
I've seen Casper, like, having to, like, bend his arms backwards and sort of, like, do a sort of backward somersault to try and even get a sideways slash. Just
and then the swing you sword, it bounces off a rock, comes back and hits Link right in the middle of the face.
Yeah, just
killing him instantly. Last strike calculator, there is a 98% chance you might get it. Having hit yourself in the face.
Well, as I said, I wanted to give the Wii U a chance. Plus,
I don't want to spend money on it.
The best thing about the Wii U is how they have third-party games.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Finally.
Yeah. There might actually be some decent games now. They might actually pay some attention.
Getting over Nintendo's fact that it's grown up now and doesn't need to be scared of strangers offering them sweet things anymore.
I mean, I love what Shigeru however you say his name, Miyamoto has given us in terms of games, but he did that about 40 years ago now, like with Donkey Kong. I mean, it's great that you've brought that to the table, but I think you need to like listen to fresh perspectives and see not only how your current franchises can be developed, but also how you can bring in new ones. And they brought in this armadillo cowboy thing recently, and it just...
Which it looks like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah,
it
looks really like...
Gameplay is different, but it doesn't look like something that can really evolve in any way.
Kind of look like a Minecraft / tower defense / Crash Bandicoot.
I'd love to see Shigeru Miyamoto coming up with something new.
Yes.
Because he comes up with great stuff.
He does.
That guy's a genius.
But then the great stuff
he just hasn't used it all up.
Yeah, but the great stuff, he just sits on it for decades once he's come out with it.
It's a shame the guy that made the Super Mario Land series died. He could have added a lot of cool games. It was good. I can't remember his name.
Forget it.
Well, it's Japanese.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
No offense to the Japanese people, but your names are very hard to remember.
Yeah.
So,
but
I love those games. He was also the mastermind behind Wario, which I have massive love for. For his early games, though, not the WarioWare. But yeah, it's a shame he died. Anyway.
Yeah.
I hope we're not being too alienating with these podcasts, guys. This is just the early ones, remember. But
It's just us talking.
it's just us. It's
What you're
just us
expecting
talking.
right now, yes.
Yeah, but we will branch out. As we say, we've got with the next one, we've got something a bit more, probably a bit more widely appealing to go on. Although still tidying with our nerd roots, and we will be talking about stuff that we talk about in the comics. And I'll probably be doing, and we'll probably be talking about films. I'll probably talk about books at some point.
Hooray!
Yeah, well, you two don't have to be here for that.
A bit long gone.
Yeah, but no, don't assume that these podcasts are just us ranting, because it ain't. This is just what matters to us.
Well, that's constructive criticism sometimes, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Absolutely. But honestly, if anyone else feels strongly about this, and I do mean this time, I know I'm making jokes, if anyone else feels strongly about this, just contact us. Just do a podcast of your own. Not too good, not better than ours, but do one of your own.
If you do, though, you can get a job with us.
Yeah.
For no pay, of course.
an unpaid job.
Yeah, we can do parallel reviews. You guys, most of you, some of you certainly probably heard the Nostalgia Critic, the kind of thing that he does on his YouTube videos, where he does tie-in reviews and crossover reviews with other people. But if you do a podcast, we'd love to hear from you if you want to do a crossover.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll help increase your image, and hopefully you'll return the favour. This isn't just advertising, and this literally just coming up at this off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But honestly, just go ahead. We'd love to hear that other people out there care about this as well.
Yeah, definitely. As usual, post in the comment section.
Post in the comments.
We hopefully have by
The
now.
one hasn't even been started. Looking away.
Yeah, looking at you, Josh. No, he's kidding.
Alright, well,
Is that FD?
40 minutes in, it probably should be.
Well done.
We're supposed to be working to a deadline at the moment, believe it or not. Anyway,
Quite a looming deadline.
we'll take some less time out of your time by stopping the podcast now. But again, thank you for listening and enjoy
Cheerio.
the comics, etc. Bye-bye.